Yo, what is going on, everyone? Guiding Light here, back with another video. And in this one, we're going to be going over things that I wish I knew before starting up Dead Island 2. Now, Dead Island 2 is actually a continuation of some other Dead Island games like Riptide, and they were released back on the PlayStation 3. Now, Dead Island 2 has been in the making for quite a while and actually got postponed quite a few times, but the release has finally gone live. So in this video, I will show you guys 5 things that I wish I knew before playing the new Dead Island. So the first tip and things that I wish I knew before starting Dead Island, it has to do with these crafting benches. Now, you may find crafting benches all throughout the island, and for my first tip, kind of has to do with inventory management. So as you guys are leveling up your character, getting better weapons, and sort of breaking your old weapons, instead of dropping them on the floor, be sure to be scrapping them down. This is going to give you tons and tons of materials very early on. So this way, instead of selling them or just throwing them on the ground, you can actually scrap them down every single time that you're either done with the weapon or just simply a higher level to the point where you don't want to use it. This will help you guys a lot by collecting tons of materials, which you can then put on newer weapons and upgrades as you unlock them. Now, tip number 2 that I have for you guys is definitely to be utilizing your dropkick abilities as well as looting as much as you possibly can. You may notice that there's a bunch of different hallways and different ways around the map that you don't necessarily have to explore, but I do highly suggest exploring them as much as you can because you never know when you might find the next weapon drop. As on top of that, it will give you guys a bunch of materials so that when you do go to upgrade your weapons, you'll have tons and tons of materials to help you out throughout the way, and it will make the fights a lot easier when trying to play the game. Now, let's say you guys don't have any upgrades on your weapons and you're kind of running around with stuff that you consider to be a little bit underpowered. Be sure to be utilizing the kick abilities, the grenades and stuff like that. And also, when swinging your weapon, be sure to be swinging for the head and for the critical points because not every single zombie will have the same critical point. But you really want to be comboing all these moves together because once you knock certain enemies on the floor, you can actually one hit them with your ability. And so when swinging for the critical spots and knocking the zombies over, it will help to clear out the bigger hordes a lot easier and help to save up on the medkits that you might be getting and using. Now, the big tip that I can give you guys after that is to make sure that you guys actually have the medkits unlocked as a craftable item. So you guys may not have noticed, but right when you start the game, you will unlock this ability to trade with Carlos. So Carlos will be located in like the main house or in Emma's house. I don't really want to spoil too much of the story or anything like that. But let's say you guys don't have this ability purchased yet. Simply make your way back to Emma's house, and I will show you guys how it is that you can craft medkits. So that way, when you get towards the harder and harder missions, you can just make as many medkits as you want at a workbench instead of having to continuously restart a mission or just be left without any healing items. So if you guys did not pick this up, definitely do it. Come back to Carlos, and what you will find in the blueprint section is the ability to craft medkits. Now, this is actually completely free, and you will unlock this store very, very early on in the game within the first 30 minutes. So once you guys unlock Carlos, be sure to purchase that blueprint. What this will allow you to do is go to any workbench on the game, and you can scroll over to fabricate and actually make your own medkits. This will help tremendously because once you get towards the harder missions, you will need to heal up quite a bit, and you're either going to have to scavenge for medkits on the floor or just take your time going really, really slow through the missions so that you don't take damage, which could be pretty annoying. So that's another part of the reason why you want to be looting as much as possible so that you do actually have the ability to craft those medkits when you can. Now, another thing you might want to know is how to even actually find these workbenches and how to get around the map because the game doesn't do too good of a job of explaining how it is that you can go around the map and actually find things with ease. So what you will want to do is actually look here at the top of your screen. You'll notice that there is a small compass here, and this will actually help you guys out a lot throughout the game to help you guys get to any objectives you need to go to. Or if you're looking for a workbench and things like that, you can always pull open the map. But if you're ever running around mid-mission or on the fly and just trying to look for a workbench, which will happen a lot, just be sure to use the compass to help you guys get around to any hidden missions or anything that you may be looking for. Now, another thing I did kind of wish I knew before buying the game is that this is not actually going to be as open world as some of the previous Dead Islands. Instead, you will be sort of confined into the area in which you are doing missions. However, when you pull open the map, you can see that you still have the ability to explore around these areas as much as you want and go into different zones and stuff like that, but it's just not as open world as you may have been used to in some of the other Dead Islands. Now, another thing I may have wished to know before starting the game is that there are bigger incorporations of actually using guns in this game. So in other Dead Islands, you wouldn't necessarily have too many opportunities to use guns, and when you did, it was pretty brief and they didn't do a lot of damage. But it looks like they actually took the time to make the guns a lot better in this game. Now, keep in mind, you also will have these storage vaults that you will find randomly around the map and in a lot of safe houses. The storage lockers, what they're going to do is make it so that you can actually store a weapon, and any other time that you want to come back to it later, or if you go to a different storage locker in a different area, you will always be able to pull certain weapons out of here. So if you have a special weapon that you either found or made, or maybe you just want to store in here for later on in the game, like you found something rare and something you want to keep, you can actually use these storage lockers, and they will be located in just about all the safe zones and allow you guys to pull out those weapons whenever you want. Now, the last tip that I can give you guys, and the last thing I kind of wish I knew before starting Dead Island 2, was the fact there are different types of missions. So you're going to have your main missions, your story missions, but then you're also going to have these lost and found quests. Now, these lost and found quests can only be started once you have found the start location of the quest, usually by picking up a special item in a small area. So that's just something else I wish I kind of knew, is that there are going to be these special quests to be on the lookout for, which may or may not unlock very special items. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this quick video, letting you guys know a few tips and tricks on playing Dead Island 2 and some things I wish I knew before starting the game. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.